Today guys, we're going to be making some adobo, and actually we're going to be making some adobo for Uncle Roger, so hopefully he will approve of this recipe. So what I would like you guys to do is, after this is posted, to send Uncle Roger the link and have him review something of mine. I mean, it's about time. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this recipe, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know in the comment section. But more importantly, if you want to follow along with this recipe, stop the video now, pause it, get the list of ingredients that you need to get. I'll leave the list down below in the description, and follow along with me as we make this recipe. It's very easy to make this recipe. It's not difficult at all. If you do happen to enjoy this video today, and more importantly, if you enjoy the recipe, then be sure to give the video a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future content. Now, let's get started. Now it's time for the ingredients. Making chicken adobo is super easy, and basically if you want to, instead of using chicken today, want to say use pork, or you want to use anything else, or even say vegetables, you can do it. You just need to adjust the recipe a little bit. It's a very straightforward and simple recipe. We're going to be using some chicken legs today, some thighs and the drums. We're also going to be using a little bit of sugar, some whole black peppercorns, some bay leaves, some peeled garlic. Well, and I'll talk about that in a second. We're going to be seasoning it with some green onions at the end. And then for the soy sauce. Now, I couldn't get Dato Puti or Silver Swan soy, so today we're going to be using
Kiko Man. Is that how you say it, Shan?
You know, like Uncle Roger likes. So in any case, sometimes you have to substitute. It's still fine. So we're going to be using one light soy and then a dark soy, equal parts of each. One thing, guys, to keep in mind is anytime that you're following a recipe, and I've mentioned this before, but if we're going to be, like, say, using 5 bay leaves today, you want to keep in mind that this is one and this is one as well, and you know, they're completely different sizes. So if you have to use a little more because you only have little ones, it's fine. Add more. And the same thing with the garlic. When you have 1 clove of garlic, which is this big, today we're going to be adding around 10 cloves, but I have a bunch of small garlic, so you know, obviously these two are different sizes, and it takes about 3 of these or 4 to make up one of these. So just keep this in mind whenever cooking. Sometimes you have to use common sense. Now, as for the vinegar, we did manage to get some Filipino vinegar, Dato Puti. If you can get it, or Silver Swan. If not, use what you have at home. Now, this is cane sugar vinegar. If you're using, say, coconut vinegar or another type, just keep an eye on the acid percentage, because if it has more acid, if it's a higher acidic percentage, you don't need to add as much. This one is quite low, so today we're going to be adding a few more tablespoons than what you say would add if you're going to be adding something that's like at a higher percentage. Now, as for the chicken, you can use, if you want, chicken breasts, but I don't recommend it because chicken breasts will dry out. The leg meat is darker meat and it's a lot more resilient. Now to cut the chicken. We're gonna leave skin on, and I'm not gonna take the rest of the ankle, the foot off. We're gonna leave it, but we're going to cut these in half. So you wanna find where the joint's moving, right around here. And if you get it right, you should cut straight through. If you want, you can cut this in half as well and break them down a little bit, but I'm gonna leave these whole because it's easier. All right, first we're gonna add some lighter soy, some Kiko Man to this. I'm adding equal parts. If you want to add a little more, you can. Feel free to actually, well, make this recipe how you want. All right, now for the Dato Puti. If you want it a little more acidic and you have a vinegar like this, which is about 4.5, add a little more. Put about 10 to 12 peppercorns. If you don't want whole peppercorns, if you don't like actually biting into them and then breaking them in your mouth and having that like just flavor, explosion of flavor in your mouth, grind them up. You don't have to leave them whole. Now, like with all recipes, if you make a mistake and you add too much of this, that, or the other thing, or you want to experiment a little bit, do so. But if you add, let's say, a little bit too much sugar, you can add a little more, vinegar to this, a little more salt as well to compensate. And, you know, there's always a fix, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to give this a good mix, and then we're going to put this in the fridge and let it marinate for about 2 to 3 hours. The longer the better, basically. If you do this overnight, this will really stain the color of the chicken and it will add a lot of flavor to it. Now, after about 2 hours, we're going to sear the chicken off. You want to get a pot that has a thick bottom to it. So we're going to be using a Dutch oven today, and I'm going to be using a little bit of oil as well. You know, I won't say what type. Get the pan hot. Now, when you're searing the chicken, make sure that the pan is hot, the oil is hot, and sear with the skin side down. But keep in mind that since you're already marinating the chicken and basically with sugar and then soy, and soy can burn easily, you can run the risk of burning it when trying to get a good color. So alternatively, if you want to get a super nice colored chicken skin, sear it first, then marinate it, and then add everything in. Once you get a nice color, more or less something like this, that's nice. We're going to add the rest of the soy in. And we're going to be adding about 200 to 300, maybe a little more, 400 milliliters, not grams, of water to this. And just get the rest of the chicken here. The rest of the chicken juice and all the garlic and everything. First, we want to bring this up to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, we're going to reduce the heat on either medium or low, depending on how big the burner is. And now we're just going to cover it and check it in about 20-25 minutes. After about 30 minutes, when you go to check the chicken, if it starts falling off the bone and it looks like it's done, check it, yeah? What happens with all the liquid and everything? Well, you have a few options. One, if this was going to be, say, pork or anything, we would cook this a lot longer, so you could actually reduce this without having to do anything to it. Or the other option is to actually make a cornstarch slurry, take the chicken out, add a little bit of the soy to this to then thicken the sauce, which is what we're gonna do. So unlike the adobo video that we saw on the Food Network, where it was like a soup, and you can leave it like that if you want, but honestly, we're not going to allow that to happen today. I'm reducing this now first a little bit, and we're gonna add the soy just as this. It's a good idea to add a little bit at a time, or not to add too much, because it can thicken quickly. And if it thickens too much, then you may have to add a little bit of water. Now, after adding the chicken back in and basically coating the chicken in the sauce, and now it looks like delicious, now we're gonna plate. Now it's taste test time, so let's see what this tastes like. Oh, this is delicious. The one thing though, personally, that I would add if I was just making this for myself and not YouTube today, would be to add a little bit of spice. It's lacking some chilies. It is an easy recipe. What I would suggest is give yourself time to make this, prep everything ahead of time, and if there's something that you want to change it. So guys, hopefully you did enjoy this recipe today, and well, hopefully Uncle Roger, if you do see this video, you'll approve as well. So let me know your comments down below, guys. Let me know your thoughts, and be sure to check out this next video coming up here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future content. Until next time, take care.